Hi, my name is Tracy Heskamp. Thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be giving a tutorial on how to add natural elements to your journal. So this is a journal that I've been working on. I just returned home from a recent trip to Italy, and so I've been putting some finishing touches on the pages inside. One of my favorite pages on the inside happens to be this one right here, which has some framed leaves that I picked up when I was touring the gardens of the Vatican. And so I'd like to show you how you can also do something very similar to this the next time that you're making a journal and you want to incorporate a natural element inside. Okay. First, I want to show you that most of my pages in my journal are very, very colorful. I've painted the backgrounds to be very bright, and because of that, I've decided that I want to have my leaves stand out a little better against a kind of a frame or a background, and that's why I've selected to use this black piece of just cardstock here so that it jumps out from the colorful background that it's on. So taking a piece of cardstock here, just a black piece of cardstock, I'm going to use that again as my background. You can use whatever you'd like. It does need to be something that can kind of withstand if you're wanting to glue it into your book or adhere it or affix it into your book. So it needs to be a little bit sturdy. And the very first thing I did when I was touring the Vatican and I happened to pick these leaves up on the path, along the path that we were going on, the tour guide had us on, is that they were very wet. Normally you don't want to pick up leaves from the ground. You'd like to select leaves that are already on the tree because those are drier. But that would have been disrespectful, so I just picked up leaves that they were already raking up and getting rid of to have a little memento of being in the garden. I took those leaves home or back to my room, and I placed them between two pieces of blank newsprint. Newsprint is a good thing to soak up all the dirt and the water, the wetness from your natural botanicals. And then you also want to stick that either in a flower press or like a phone book of some kind so that they will dry completely flat. Usually this process takes anywhere from 2 weeks to maybe a month or a little more. And it's always a good idea to check your drying botanicals to make sure that they're not molding or that you don't need to change the newsprint just in case the newsprint becomes very wet. That wasn't the case with these. They weren't extremely wet, so I was able to just get away with using one piece of newsprint. And if your newsprint doesn't get too damaged, you can always use it again. So something that I will do for that particular piece. I'm going to take my leaves now and now that they're dry and completely flat, and arrange them onto my piece of cardstock in a desirable manner. Okay. I'm hoping that these will fit. So I've got kind of a small arrangement going on here. And the next thing I want to do is sandwich my leaves between the cardstock and a piece of mica. A mica is a natural material. It serves as a great kind of transparent window that you can use. Mica, I don't know if you can see this, also normally comes in like a thick kind of slice. You can actually peel away layers from the slice that you might have, and that way your mica goes a little farther than just having a single piece. This is available at places like volcanoarts.biz or .com, but if I carefully place that over my leaves, it kind of makes this nice little transparent window and creates kind of a protected space for my leaves so that they don't get damaged as I continue turning the pages of my journal over and over to relive those wonderful experiences. You also want to make sure that your mica completely covers all of the areas of the leaf. So I've got a leaf that's kind of tucking out here, sticking out. I'm going to tuck it back underneath. And then using a either a hole punch or a Japanese screw punch, I can punch holes in the mica and the cardstock. I'm going to use a hole punch. You want the holes to be a little smaller than the grommets we're going to be using to make sure that these stay fastened together. You don't need a lot of holes, just enough to secure it into place. So I've got 4 holes here. I might need a few more, I'm not sure. But we're going to work with those. And then, like I said before, we're going to be securing the mica to the cardstock with the leaf sandwiched in between using grommets. This is not a very thick piece. The cardstock with the leaves and the mica are not very thick, so I can use a grommet with a smaller kind of shaft. You can also buy grommets that have longer shafts. So I'm going to use one that's a shorter shaft here. And they come in all different colors, as you can see. I've got silver and copper here. Down below, I even have other colors. There's some bigger grommets. These are white and black. So they come metallics, they come in all different colors, so whatever suits your fancy. And you can find grommets at probably your local craft store will have them. Local hobby and craft store. Okay, I'm just going to use, I think, a silver grommet. Silver grommets. And this is important that you punch the holes just slightly smaller so that when you're placing your grommet in the hole, it will be snug. Okay. I'll get a couple other grommets here. One more for the other side. I usually only do 2 grommets at a time because now what I'll do is I'm going to take a mat. If you have a metal bench block, that's the best thing to use, but I just have a little cutting mat here. And you need to flip the whole surface over, so you're wanting to make sure you don't move your leaves. And then there's this little tool that will actually fold down the shaft of your grommet so that it secures everything into place. And you have to take a hammer. I'm making some loud noises. Sorry. And as you can see, that they've made kind of little daisies. And now I know that the grommet is secure because it's folded down. But I still have some more holes to fill. But by doing only 2, I've got the mica and the cardstock somewhat secure, and now I can come back, and if anything is shifted underneath the mica, like poking out like this little leaf keeps wanting to fall out, I can re-secure those back under the mica and come back and get another grommet. And there's another little leaf. Turn it back over again. Okay. And then placing my final grommet into this particular hole to secure it. Turning it back over. Alright. So I've only got 4 holes here, but as you can see, I probably need to place another one maybe up here. So I'll go ahead and take my hole punch. And my hole punch doesn't quite fit, so I'll need to get my Japanese screw punch out. It's much cleaner actually to punch a hole rather than using your Japanese screw punch. The mica tends to want to crack very easily. So you can see that this is just a little bit messy. It just kind of wants to split apart very easily, but the hole still came out fine. So if you can punch the hole, it's preferred. If you need to use your Japanese screw punch because you can't quite reach it with your hole punch, that's okay too. Just be very careful. You have to be delicate with that. And I'm going to fold the shaft down on this one by securing it. And now I have this lovely kind of encapsulated natural element that I can add to my journal. And if I take just a white gel pen, I can write down some memories. Vatican Gardens, 2010. So now I have something really beautiful to share and place in my journal that is protected, so that I can go back and relive those memories. Thanks for joining me.